Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
Yo, that was fire.
Yeah.
I like that, though. I like that.
The person that's dealt with some people in the industry, I can personally tell you, most of them are bullshit. Most of them got something going on and they're crazy, and they will have you. I'm talking about they'll have you crazy.
Yeah, you look professional, bro. You look real professional. In case, like Slim said, it's the beginning, man. We're gonna see more. It's gonna unfold, and
that mean I'm doing my job.
Hey. If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow. Welcome to the new party. It's your girl, Nora Christine. I'm solo dolo today, but it's all good because we are back with our continuous Diddy coverage. Tap the like button. I need everybody to tap the like button. We are live in here. Also, we are taking phone calls. It's your girl by herself. So if you want to hit me up, you can give me a holler and a shout. But I will say, if you call me on the phone, please hit that *67 first because I have to share the screen. So we are accepting calls 407-602-8114, 407-602-8114. We are going to get into Jane Doe, how she kind of had an attitude back yesterday with Teddy Garagos. So yesterday we saw the cross-examination of her. She had to pass 3 days on direct, and yesterday we saw the cross-exam, and she got a little feisty. She kind of talked back. The biggest line that she said that everyone going crazy, and I'm going to play a clip and we're going to break it down. But a lot that came up yesterday was about her jealousy issues. Young Miami's name was dropped, like literally dropped, and so was Gina's. Gina's name was dropped today. Also, we have a big issue with the juror. So let's start with the juror issue. Apparently, it's a black juror, and for some reason, prosecution wants them dropped. I'm not understanding the reason why. Once I find out the reason why, I'll explain to you why the prosecution wants them dropped, but the judge is going to review it this evening. Also, the judge has officially denied the second mistrial request by the defense. And the reason why defense requested a mistrial is because if you guys remember, Vanna, who was friends with Cassie, testified to Diddy hanging her over a railing. She got the dates mixed up. She said that the day it happened, Diddy was on tour in New York City, in New Jersey, staying at a hotel, and they were able to provide a receipt showing that he ordered like $1,000 worth of breakfast or something crazy like that. So they're like, hey, mistrial, like she's lying. But the judge is saying, but she was also on a lot of drugs at that time. So due to that, we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And essentially, we are going to proceed forward. I mean, Banner was one witness when we have all these other evidence with Capricorn Clark, Cassie, who both were very honest and believing. So, definitely not a win for the defense, but we will push forward. To me, I think push forward, speed through, because then it shows the prosecution's credibility on some of these witnesses that aren't very honest. So today, I'm going to play this clip by Lauren Conlon and we'll break it down. Young Miami came up heavy, y'all. Lauren Conlon was actually in the courtroom, so I got to give credit where it's due. I like her updates. They're short to the point. So shout out to her. You guys can also go follow her. She's pretty straight to the point. We kind of give you fluff with it. So this is the clip right here.
Hostile moment with Jane and Tenny Garagos, and it was pretty wild. I mean, there were gasps from the jury and there were gasps in the gallery, and it stemmed from a text exchange between Diddy and Jane. And Jane was upset because Diddy had been texting her about she thought he was texting her because he missed her and he was bringing up two of the escorts that they had hotel sessions with. And then she sees a social media post of Diddy and a girl that he's with, spending quality time with. And I guess he also bought this girl a Chanel bag and she posted it. And Tenny's reading the text message that Jane sent him. And, it's something along the lines about you just want to use me for the hotel stuff while you're spending quality time, and you got her a Chanel bag, LOL, this shit's crazy, all this stuff. And Tenny's like, so you didn't get a Chanel bag? And Jane goes, no, I only got trauma. And she said, but you got a Bottega bag, because she had testified that he bought her a Bottega bag. And she said, but you got a Bottega bag and a Van Cleef. How much is a Bottega bag? And Jane says, how much is my body? And then at one point before that, and I skipped over this, but at one point before that, Tenny said, what is a Bottega bag? And she said, you probably have one. That's what Jane said. And so after this, and she talked about the price, and she's like, how much? And Jane said a Bottega bag is $2,000. And then she's like, how much is the Chanel bag? And she's like,
pause. I looked up those Bottega bags. They're like $3,000 to $10,000. They're not cheap. They're actually worth more than a Chanel, I think. So the fact that it was wild work that Jane is mad that I'll say I found the video. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. He posted the video of the shopping trip of Jane and Diddy. Actually, I want to reference this because that was the whole thing. Also, Van Cleefs can be anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000. Also, not cheap. So Diddy was breaking her off with $150,000 cash plus expensive gifts. I'm not mad at him. That is damn expensive. Okay. Let me play this clip. I'm gonna show y'all the shopping trip that got Jane tight with Young Miami and Diddy, because I don't blame her. I would have got tight too. Hold on, let's see. Do I have it? I think I just saved it. 1 second, y'all. Make sure you guys are tapping the screen. Tapping is clapping. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm going to need everybody to come in here and hit that like button. Show us some love. Let me play to you guys the shopping trip. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. He posted this. I want to show you guys the shopping trip that they're referring to.
Take me to Chanel, nigga. Take me to Chanel. Yeah. Take me to Chanel. Take me to Chanel, nigga. Take me to Chanel. Yeah. Chanel, yeah. Hello. Take me to Chanel, nigga. Take me to Chanel, yeah. Take me to Chanel, yeah. Where we at?
Also, guys, we got to keep in mind that she was jealous too, because at that time, I don't know if y'all remember this, but Young Miami and Diddy were heavily being seen out in public together, heavily. And, here she is. Hey, come on. Thank you for watching. Here she is sitting there having to be told to be like, you can't post me, because I think Diddy had rules for her. He wouldn't allow her to post him. So I believe that this was a major issue because she wouldn't allow him to post her. That, here he's out here going to Chanel, doing these like public shopping trips with Young Miami. And here you got me up in here, laid up in this hotel, doing these freak offs, sleeping with 3, 4, 5 men in a night. And you won't post me. I don't blame her. I'm sorry. I get why she was angry. But again, at the same time, Diddy already told you he didn't want nothing monogamous. Even you acknowledge that. Let me play the rest of Lauren, and I'll play more clips as we go, because again, Lauren is actually in the courtroom, and so I want you guys to have firsthand direct of what people in the courtroom are saying. The tone is as I'm reading out the updates.
Like, I don't know. And right before that, the judge kind of scolded Jane to just answer the questions. And then Jane was like, can we take a break? And then when we got back from the break, Jane actually apologized. And she just said, I apologize. And also, when we got back from the break, the judge told the jury that we were going to end early. And one of the jurors goes, yay. But okay, so essentially the cross this afternoon, I actually was very excited to leave, because I would say 90% of the afternoon was spent on explicit text messages. And when I say explicit, I mean, I'm an adult, I can handle it. These were very explicit, and Jane had to read most of them. So, and I think that was to sort of show that she would text Diddy that she was having fantasies about certain escorts. And, she would kind of explain herself and say, yeah, well, I was kind of placating, etc. But nevertheless, we did hear about texts that she sent, saying that these escorts turned her on and she was thinking about them, etc., etc. At another point, Tenny kind of brought up, you said like you hadn't really done anything in the 3 years that you were with Diddy, and then she kind of brought up, but you had your dress line business, you also had a swimsuit business, you got to live in this beautiful house, kind of saying, your apartment before was X many square feet and now this house is double, you can raise your child in this. And she even brought up the fact that her dress line business was profitable. So she's like, in 3 years, you didn't really do nothing, you did do stuff. And Jane kind of said, well, it's here nor there, but I feel like I could have done a lot more, etc. Let me see what else. There was also just text messages between Jane and Diddy where she says, I wish you were here so we could play our videos, meaning the videos they recorded in the different hotel rooms. And then she showed us 2 instances of text messages where Diddy essentially says to Jane, and we saw kind of the same thing with Cassie, like, we don't have to do any more of these hotel nights, or debauchery they called it. It can be just us. And okay, so then we saw this one text thread, again, more dirty text, but Jane tells Diddy that she feels sexiest when she's intoxicated off of wine. And Diddy responds, oh, I didn't know that, you don't have to do Molly. And he also says something like, we don't have to get crazy for the rest of the year. And Jane says something like, it's okay with me, meaning like, I don't mind necessarily getting crazy, that's fine. And Diddy says, what do you mean? And Jane testified that she took that whole thing as like an angry undertone when he said, we don't have to go crazy for a year, almost kind of like a test. And that's my words, not hers, but that's how I kind of translated this. And Jane says, after he says, what do you mean? She said, I love that we have this freedom with one another. And Diddy says, you don't think I can do it, meaning not have a hotel night. And she says, I just know that there will be debauchery before the end of the year. I don't mind it. I just want some romance time. And Diddy says, I'm going to make you beg for debauchery. And then she gives like a laughing face and says, okay, let's try it, but I love it all with you. And then Diddy texts back, I love the times that it's just me and you. And then again, we ended with just more text messages about hotel nights. And
so let me say this, y'all. I'm kind of sick of Jane, because Jane says, oh, it's okay, we can continue doing this. Then it's like, oh, you coerced me. You use the word coercion after the Cassie lawsuit comes out, because from the messages and your own words and texts to Diddy, you were with it. And let me tell you, I believe she was with it. I believe she enjoyed that $10,000 a month, 5,600 square foot house. I believe she enjoyed the Van Cleef necklaces. I believe she enjoyed the Chanel bags and the whatever they call those bags. I've never even heard of them. I mean, it's crazy. But she also referenced a lot like, I'm not Young Miami. I'm not Gina. I'm not Cassie. She's popped off a lot with him. Also, today we learned that she did organize a Valentine hotel night with two men, and she organized it with his head assistant KK. She also talked about planning to have Paul there. We learned that Paul was a trainer for Diddy, and he was also being used, which lets me to believe my theory about Cassie and her husband was correct. I believe Cassie's husband was also in the freak offs. I don't know if this is official. This is my thoughts, allegedly what I suspect. Yes, she enjoyed all of it. And honestly, I know it's hard for some women to believe it because a lot of women are good women and we don't enjoy things like that. But there are those out there that like this stuff. It does it for them. She admits that, so they find text messages in her phone where she was writing entertainers privately when Diddy wasn't around. She admits to doing it. She said she did it after she learned that Diddy was away with Gina. She said there were several times that she would fly out and her and Diddy would go to Vegas, Miami, and different places, and they didn't always do freak offs. So the thing is this. Are you guys always doing it or are you not always doing it? What is the answer? Because my thing is, clearly you weren't always doing it, Jane. Clearly you like to play victim. And this is the issue I have with Jane. Also, another thing I learned, I'm about to use somebody else's clips. Hold on. Tap the screen, guys. Tapping is clapping. Let's hit the like button. I'm gonna play this clip. We learned that we learned that Diddy would hide drugs in different places. One was a Visine bottle. We learned of a new place this week. I'm going to play this clip. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. I got to meet him when I went to New York. Very nice guy. I'm going to use his clip and I'm going to play it right now for y'all.
Looked at Diddy and said, I miss Paul. Diddy got excited. They called Paul on Facebook.
Oh, shoot. My bad, y'all. I wasn't even sharing the screen. Let me start it over, guys. My bad, y'all. Y'all got to let me know in the chat. I'm so used to somebody saying, where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Here we go, y'all. I'm going to restart it over. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. Here we go.
Diddy and said, I miss Paul. Diddy got excited. They called Paul on FaceTime and said, hey, Paul, when can you come over for the freak off? He said, I could be there in 1 or 2 days. Paul came. This is new. She said Diddy gave her a black spray bottle and said, this is that new shit. This ain't black, but it's a spray bottle. So he said Diddy gave her the black spray bottle. He said, open your mouth. And she sprayed it in her mouth. He said, this is liquid Molly. I ain't never had no liquid Molly. They said, what did the liquid Molly do? She said, it made me so horny. She said, as soon as Paul walked in that door, he walked in and she ran and jumped on that mother and went, oh, oh. She said,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He gets to play it on there. Yeah, my bad, guys. So pretty much, the rest of the questioning today was about the gifts, about the trips, about the gifts. She pretty much was like, I wouldn't have gone to Turks and Caicos if it wasn't for, like, if I thought that anybody was there, because Paul the trainer was there. So then she invites Cabral, and she's like, wait a minute, you invited Cabral. She's like, no, but never without Diddy's approval and Diddy's direction. So she was pretty much very clear with her that anything she did was with the direction and guidance of Diddy. Like, I mean, and again, a shout out to the defense. They're trying their best to get a win from this. But I'm going to tell you this. I personally believe that this is not a win for Diddy. I think from what I'm hearing, you watching multiple people, so you guys don't have to, but pretty much from what I'm seeing, it's pretty clear that Jane is being taken very seriously. She's very credible. People really, really like Jane. They like her. They think she's believable. They don't necessarily like her in the sense of sympathetic as they did Cassie. There was more empathy in the room for Cassie than Jane, but she's believable. They believe her. And I'll say this, I got to give it to Jane. Even when it don't make Jane look good, she tell the truth. So I do think she's believable. I do think she's credible. I don't think that this was a win for Diddy because, again, it shows a pattern. I also thought that Diddy might have had an argument to say, that was me before. Because remember in that video, he was like, I was going through a rough time, in the apology video, I've changed. Well, clearly you have not changed, because when you got damn arrested, you had a bag full of drugs with you. You had a bag full of the freak off gear with you. So you were the same person from 15 years ago or 10 years ago when you were body slamming Cassie, unfortunately. So I think that it shows a pattern. So pretty much the other thing she testified to today is that she's upset. She saw that Diddy went on trips with Gina. And for New Year's, I guess he took Gina somewhere. So he would basically not spend any holidays with Jane. That's what I feel like the other issue was, because she was down with it when she was his girl, but when she wasn't his girl, she had a problem with it. Did you consider any of the relationships after seeing the post and sending that message? Yes, I thought about seriously breaking up with Sean after that. Yeah, you probably did, but then you thought about that $10,000 rent and how you gonna pay it. Because let's be real, you had no way to pay in that rent. Did you ask Sean to come back from vacation? Yes, I did more than ask. I made him come home a day early. What did you say to him? I told him, you don't come here now. We're not going to do anything that you want to do. Did you tell Sean that he wouldn't be having a Valentine's Day party with you? Yes, that was the first time I pulled that card, the hotel night card. Can you describe how you prepared for that night? So she said she decorated the hotel night room with rose petals. She planned to have 2 entertainers there at once. So again, I told you entertainers are the names that we use for the men that entertain her and sexually satisfy her. Let's turn the messages exchanged in March 2022. After another hotel night with Mr. Combs, you recall what prompted those messages? Yes, Sean had recently made me delete a photo of some food I posted. It was something that showed we were together. So basically, and what did you see online? She said she saw a post from Gina wearing a necklace that matched a bracelet Sean had given her before. So she's like, hold up, you giving her the matching bracelet. So basically, Diddy was slick. Diddy bought the matching set, probably saved a few grand, gave her one of the necklaces, gave her the bracelet. That is funny, y'all. That is funny. I got to give it to Diddy. That is funny. He's a busy man. During the spring of 2022, did you and Sean continue having hotel nights? No, we were about 2 months without one, even though we still spent time together. Do you recall what happened on June 19th that year? Yes. Sean suggested that we would have a hotel night. How did you respond to that suggestion? I said, not really in that mood for that part. Don't want to make you mad. How did he reply? All good. And then suggested doing a role play scenario instead. Did you go along with that suggestion? We ended up having a movie night. Instead, we watched old hotel night footage and porno. So what they would do is they would film these nights and then they would rewatch the nights. Okay. That's how they pretty much would handle it. They continued reading sexually explicit messages with her. So it's a lot of sexual messages. And from what I'm hearing, they're very uncomfortable to hear and read. So pretty much another thing that I didn't touch on yesterday, y'all. She researched what a cuckold was because she was curious why Diddy was so into doing this. Why Diddy was so into seeing all these men sleeping with her. And I'm going to tell you what she said in her research. I'm not going to judge Diddy. I'm not judging nobody, but pretty much in her research, what she found out was that men like to do this because they like to envision that they're the woman in these acts. And that's all I'm going to say. So pretty much they're like bi-curious men. Okay. Again, I'm not judging if that's what you're into, but that was what she said she learned from the research. She said she asked for $15,000 to buy an outfit and cover dinner for her and her friends. He paid for the dinner. He didn't give her the money, but he paid for the dinner. She then followed him to Miami and she went there. Um, um, there's actually a photo of them eating at Nobu that somebody posted, but I won't post it. I won't post it because again, we're not supposed to know her identity. Um, so yeah, this is crazy, y'all. I don't even know what else to say. This is wild. I'm getting sick of Jane. My wish is they take Jane off the stand. How much Jane can we get? I'm honestly really over Jane, y'all. I'm ready to have a new person. I'm kind of sick of Jane. I'm sick of hearing about her. I'm kind of sick of hearing all about her. I mean, how much more can we get to, you guys? Like, we know she was with it. I mean, I don't know how much we got to go to. I wish they would get her off the stand. I mean, it gets to a point where I'm even sick of hearing about it. It's not even exciting anymore for me. It's just awkward and uncomfortable to hear. I want to know what you guys think, though. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts. I definitely want to know what everyone thinks about Jane, about this whole situation. So if you're watching on the New Party Network tonight, yeah, exactly. I got Jane fatigue. I don't know what else to say, y'all. I've never ended a show this early. I really have nothing to say. Even if Gray was here, we probably would end in 10 minutes because there's not much else to say. Let me say this. Tonight, we will be back here on the New Party Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Man Cave Show. We will be talking about the LA riots. Tomorrow night, also, you can go to Nora Christine Live. Hold on, let me put my info up. And you could go watch my show tonight. I am going to be doing my own coverage. Of the riots. My thing that I'll be talking about on my show tonight, I'll be saying I don't think that LA is the end of it. I think LA is the start. And I'm going to show you what I mean and all the protests going on nationwide. Also, tomorrow night, we will be back on the New Party at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking about this is the show for tonight, y'all. For tomorrow night, y'all. Are liberals in denial, or is my lying eyes deceiving me? Because whenever you ask people on the left, Democrats, the liberals, the left, about the riots, they're going to tell you they're peaceful. So I want to know what their definition of peaceful is, because we got to get to the bottom of it. So we have our team here tomorrow night. We'll be talking about it. Tapping is clapping. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell right here. Friday, I'll also be on Kamal's network. So if you guys aren't already following Kamal, at the conclusion of the show, you'll see his handles, so you can go give him a follow because we'll be there Friday, I think at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. All right, guys. God bless. Have a good day. See you tonight.